Psychology is a vast field, broader than you can imagine, and it is connected to every person on this planet, regardless of nationality or religion. To help make this complex subject more accessible, we are launching a series of lectures designed to explain psychology in a simple and engaging way. In Module 1, you will learn how psychology originated, explore its historical background, and discover key figures and their biographies. We will also examine how we perceive the world, why our perceptions differ, how memories are formed and retained, the influence of hormones on mental health, and how different parts of the brain contribute to emotions like fear and happiness. Module 2 focuses on mental health and psychological disorders. We will discuss the difference between psychotic and neurotic disorders, when a condition qualifies as a disorder, and explore both common and rare psychological conditions. You will learn how disorders are diagnosed, when to seek professional help, and how various therapies and techniques can be used, both clinically and at home, to manage symptoms such as anxiety, mild depression, stress, and aggression. In Module 3, we will explore the many subfields of psychology, including educational, social, health, clinical, organizational, forensic, and positive psychology, as well as emerging areas like color psychology and dark psychology. All the information presented will be supported with proper references to ensure credibility and reliability. If you are eager to gain this valuable knowledge free of cost, please visit our channel regularly and don't forget to subscribe. So let's begin. Psychology in the 5th to 12th century. Intellectual currents and key contributors. Introduction. Psychology in the Dark Ages. The period between the 5th and 12th centuries, often referred to as the Dark Ages in Europe, marked a significant intellectual decline, particularly in scientific and psychological inquiry. Following the classical Greco-Roman era, this period was characterized by the dominance of religious authority over reason and empirical investigation. Platonic idealism prevailed, while Aristotelian empiricism was largely rejected. During this time, the prevailing metaphysical hierarchy placed God at the apex, followed by wisdom, soul, and finally, matter, an ordering that devalued empirical study of the physical world, including human behavior and psychology. Despite these constraints, several thinkers emerged who made noteworthy contributions to early psychological thought. Their works laid foundational ideas that influence both medieval and modern psychology. Saint Augustine, 354 to 430 AD, the first introspective psychologist. Free will and moral psychology. Saint Augustine, a Christian theologian and philosopher, argued that evil originates from the free will of individuals. According to Augustine, unchecked free will leads to social disorder, and thus, societal structures are necessary to impose limits. He considered pride a fundamental sin that impairs rational judgment and promotes harmful actions. Dualism and introspection. Augustine adhered to a dualistic worldview distinguishing between the principles of light, good, and darkness, evil. He advocated for introspection, looking inward to understand the self, as a path to knowledge. Aligning with the Platonic Socratic tradition, he suggested that ideas reside within the mind and can be accessed through reflection rather than sensory observation. Stream of consciousness. One of Augustine's most profound contributions was his conceptualization of consciousness as a continuous stream. He posited that awareness flows like a river and that introspection allows individuals to access this stream to find meaning and solutions to problems. This notion foreshadowed later psychological theories of consciousness, including those of William James in the 19th century. Avicenna, Ibn Sina, 980–1037 AD. The Psychology of the Soul. Mind-body dualism. Avicenna, a Persian polymath, made significant advances in both medicine and psychology. He proposed that the soul is non-material, immortal, and governed by its own laws, distinct from the laws of the body. This view opposed Aristotle's conception of the unity of body and soul and laid early groundwork for dualistic theories. Psychological motion and human action. Avicenna described a four-stage model of motivation and behavior. Imagination, forming a mental image or idea. Desire, the inclination to attain the imagined object. Impulsion, the drive toward acting on the desire. Movement, the physical enactment of the desire. 3. Perception and cognitive processing. Avicenna distinguished between primary perception, subjective and influenced by personal dispositions, e.g., fear-induced illusions. Secondary perception, objective, logical, and empirical. These distinctions prefigured later developments in phenomenology and Gestalt psychology. Psychosomatic connections and Avicenna emphasize the influence of the mind on bodily health, suggesting that belief and intention could affect illness and healing. He introduced the concept of a faculty akin to modern notions of the subconscious or autonomic nervous response, seen as a precursor to psychosomatic medicine and psychotherapy. Al-Ghazali, 1058 on 1111 AD. The ethical and spiritual dimensions of psychology. Philosophy and inner conflict. Al-Ghazali mastered both Greek philosophy and Islamic theology. His personal existential crisis, triggered by the conflict between reason and faith, led to a deep inquiry into the nature of the soul and the purpose of human existence. Nature of the soul and stages of existence. Al-Ghazali posited that the human soul is a divine spark, echoing the Quranic notion that God breathed his spirit into man. He classified existence into material world, physical world, divine realm, self and virtue. He distinguished between nafs amara, the commanding, primitive, self, dominated by desires, nafs mutmina, the tranquil, mature self, at peace with divine guidance. To evolve toward the tranquil self, Al-Ghazali prescribed 6 self-disciplinary steps. Masharaka, self-correction. Marakaba, self-monitoring. Mahasaba, self-accountability. Maqaba, self-punishment. Mujahida, self-expression. And Ma'ataba, self-purification. Vices and types of love. Al-Ghazali discussed various vices: hunger, speech misuse, self-assertion, wealth lust, and hypocrisy, and emphasized their psychological impacts. He also described 4 types of love: self-love, love for benefactors, aesthetic love, and love of social harmony, foreshadowing later theories in personality and developmental psychology. Averroes, Ibn Rushd, 1126–1198 AD. Empiricism and rational psychology, empirical method and material soul. Averroes, an Andalusian philosopher, was a staunch advocate of Aristotelian empiricism and rejected mystical speculation. He proposed that the soul is material and mortal, diverging from traditional spiritualist views. Faculties of the soul. He divided the soul into 5 components: nutritive, growth and sustenance; sensitive, emotional response; imaginative, mental visualization; cognitive, reasoning and problem-solving; appetitive, physiological drives; knowledge, change, and determinism. Averroes held that knowledge is dynamic and must evolve with changes in the world. He espoused a deterministic view of causality, asserting that all phenomena, including accidents, have underlying causes. This emphasis on causality laid the groundwork for scientific inquiry and behavioral psychology. Legacy of medieval thinkers in psychology. Between the 5th and 12th centuries, despite widespread intellectual repression in Europe, significant psychological theories emerged through the works of St. Augustine, Avicenna, Al-Ghazali, and Averroes. Their diverse perspectives, from introspection and dualism to empiricism and determinism, foreshadowed many modern psychological concepts, including introspection, psychosomatic medicine, cognitive stages, and the mind-body relationship. Their works bridged classical antiquity with the Renaissance and Enlightenment, ensuring the continuity and evolution of psychological thought. Write in comment section if you need slides or PDF notes for free. Thank you for watching. Like and share this video. Also subscribe the channel and press on bell icon so you can get more informative video notifications.